Hello, everyone. My name is Peyton Mounts, and I work in the Upper Midwest region. Today, I will be covering Section G of the June Area Questionnaire, which covers hogs and pigs. Section G will be asked of all tract operators. Question 1 is our screening question. So on June 1st, did this operation own or raise any hogs or pigs, regardless of location? If the answer is yes, we will continue to item 2. If the answer is no, we will ask if anyone will raise hogs or pigs on this operation before December 1st of this year. We'll record the answer in the checkbox and complete box 492. Then we would move on to section H. If the respondent stated that the operation owned or raised hogs and pigs on June 1st, we continue down the page. Question 2 and 3 ask about hogs located on the total acres operated, which were recorded in section E. We'll record the number of hogs and pigs on the acres operated in question 2. If any of the hogs and pigs were owned by someone else, we record the number of hogs and the owner information in items 3A and 3B. Be sure to complete item 3C as well. If the operator does not have any hogs or pigs on the total acres operated, skip to question 4. Questions 4 through 6 ask about hogs or pigs owned by this operation. The number of hogs or pigs owned by this operation is recorded in question 4. If the operation does not own hogs or pigs, skip to section H. If the operation does own hogs or pigs, continue down the page. Question 5 asks if the owned hogs and pigs are located on another operation. If the answer is yes, record as much information as possible regarding where the hogs are located. Question 6 asks if this operation raised hogs or pigs under another operation name in the last 12 months. Answers to both of these questions assist us in determining if we have any duplication. If the answer is yes, we'll record as much information as possible. This section of the questionnaire is pretty straightforward, but let's look at how it relates to the 3 main types of hog operations. This information may be helpful if you need to probe for some answers from an operator or they won't give you specific numbers. For office staff, knowing the type of operation can also be very helpful. Each type of operation has its benefits and drawbacks, but producers are always looking to maximize production while reducing their risk. So the 3 main types of hog operations are independent, which includes operations that raise hogs for home use or 4-H, a contractor, or a contractee. So for an independent operation, the operator will both own and raise the hogs. They will provide all of the inputs, and they will market the hogs on their own. This is an example of how you would complete Section G for an independent operation. The screening question in item 1 is yes. In question 2, you would record the number of hogs and pigs on the total acres operated. So for this example, we have 100. And then for question 3, hogs and pigs owned by someone else is no. For the bottom half of the page, the number of hogs and pigs this operation owned in question 4 is the same 100 hogs recorded in question 2. For question 5, none of the hogs are located on someone else's land, and for this example, there was no other business name used in the last 12 months. So for a contractor operation, the operation owns the hogs, but someone else is raising them. This someone else is called the contractee. There is usually a written contract between the contractor and the contractee, and the contract will help provide some of the inputs to the contractee to help raise the hogs. Some of these inputs that might be covered by the contractor could be feed or veterinary services. As it relates to the questionnaire, for contractor operations, question 1 is answered yes, since the operation owns the hogs. Question 2 asks about hogs and pigs on the acres operated. So for an operation that is only a contractor, there are no hogs and pigs on their land, so we would skip to question 4. In question 4, we would record the number of hogs and pigs the contractor owns. In this case, we have 100,000 head. And then for question 5, we made a note about the people also known as the contractees who are raising the hogs for this contractor. In this example, for question 6, the operation did not use another business name in the last 12 months. For a contract D operation, someone else owns the hogs, but the operation raises them. The owner in this case is called the contractor. The contractor will pay the contract D to raise the hogs, usually a flat fee, either by head or by pig space. As it relates to the questionnaire for a contract D operation, question 1 is answered yes, since the operation raises the hogs. Question 2 asks about the hogs and pigs on the acres operated. So for a contract D, we record the number of hogs on their land. In this example, we have 4,000 head. Question 3 asks if these hogs are owned by someone else. So we check yes in 3A and record the number of hogs raised for someone else. So in this case, it's the same 4,000 hogs recorded in question 2. And then in question 3B, we record the name and address of the hog owner. For question 3C, we check yes that the hog owner is a contractor. In question 4, this operation does not own any hogs, so we would then skip to section H. You may encounter a situation where the operation owns hogs and so for this example, question 1 is a yes. For question 2, hogs on the total acres operated, we're going to record the 3,000 hogs that the operation raises. Question 3 is no, since this operation owns all of these hogs. For question 4, we record the 5,000 hogs the operator owns. For question 5, we answer yes, since the operation has contractees raising some of these 5,000 hogs. And for question 5A, we're going to record the name, address, and phone number, or as much of the information as we're able to obtain of the contractees raising those 2,000 hogs. In this scenario, for question 6, the operation did not have another business name in the last 12 months. Please leave detailed notes on any unusual situations. And that concludes my presentation on Section G, Hogs and Pigs of the June Area Questionnaire. Thank you for your time and all of your efforts in collecting data for U.S. agriculture.